Yo, my name is Cheese and welcome to the ultimate comparison between GTA 5 and Watch Dogs Legion. We're going to see how GTA 5 compares both visually and from a gameplay perspective to the newer Watch Dogs Legion. For your knowledge, Grand Theft Auto 5 released back in 2013 and Watch Dogs Legion released in 2020. So it's very interesting to see if GTA 5 still holds up till this day. For this comparison, both games are running on the new PlayStation 5, with Watch Dogs Legion already receiving a PlayStation 5 enhancement, running the game in 60 FPS or in 4K with ray tracing enabled. For Grand Theft Auto 5, that is not the case yet. As of the recording of this video, GTA 5 is still locked to 1080p and 30 frames per second. I recently also uploaded a full-fledged documentary about the history of Watch Dogs, starting from 2009 all the way till 2021. If you're interested in watching it, you can click the link in the pinned comment. At the end of this video, there will also be an end screen to click to view it. But let's start this comparison off looking at the settings of both games. GTA 5 marks Los Santos, the second appearance in the series after GTA 5 San Andreas, which came out in 2004. The new rendition of the city is much more detailed, larger, and looks more alive than ever before. And Los Santos is based on the city Los Angeles in California. The world of GTA 5 is taking place in 2013. Watch Dogs Legion is taking place in a fictionalized representation of future dystopian London around 2030. While Rockstar Games took some inspiration from Los Angeles building Los Santos, Ubisoft almost completely rebuilt London City. And while London is a more dense city, both cities are full with things to do. The character models from both games are vastly different, and we even see Aiden and Wrench from the first and the second game return to Watch Dogs Legion. Comparing the enhanced version of Aiden with Franklin, we can see that the GTA 5 characters still hold up till this day, with Franklin even having some lighting reflecting on his forehead. But it's clear that the Watch Dogs Legion characters are much more sharp and include more detail because of the PS5 enhancement, like for example the tattoo in Wrench's neck. Trevor, for example, also has a tattoo in his neck which says "cut here," but it's much more blurred out. And comparing Trevor's hair with Wrench's hair, at least the part that you can see, Trevor's hair is long overdue. The character in GTA 5 that holds up the best till this day must be Michael, assuming that Rockstar Games worked on Michael the most, because he was in most of the promotional material back in 2013. And the story also mostly revolves around him and his family. I collected some textures for both games. We can see on the right that Watch Dogs Legion has more detail to their textures, looking at the stone but also looking at the grass, with a bunch of leaves laying over the grass spread out, with GTA 5 going for a much cleaner look. In both games, the vegetation also moves walking through it, and I feel like in GTA 5 there is much more visually pleasing vegetation to find. While creating an open world environment, you must have a great eye for detail, and in big cities there is always garbage laying around on the floor, and you can see a little bit of that right here in GTA 5. It looks like the garbage is very pixelated, while in London garbage is literally all over the place, especially on the side of the roads, and you can even find a mattress where a hobo is potentially sleeping on. And Ubisoft gives all these small items more detail. So let's take a look at details around the water, shall we? Footsteps are only printing in GTA 5, and while walking into the water, you can see that the water level is making Michael wet when it's reaching higher and higher. And then when he goes into the water all the way, his character is completely soaked. In Legion, this works a little bit different. Even if you walk into the water all the way till your chest, the character will not get wet until his head goes underwater as well. That's the only way to get your character fully wet. So let's take a closer look at the water itself in both games. I'm honestly surprised to see what the water effects look like in GTA 5. With the beautiful reflection, of course there are a few glitches to see, and Legion looks beautiful too with ray tracing enabled. The new ray tracing technology really pushes the games forward, where in GTA 5 we're looking at a window with a little bit of dust on top of it and it looks very pixelated and there's no reflection at all. But looking at the windows of this Indian restaurant, the ray tracing really does show its power and makes Watch Dogs Legion feel almost like real life looking at the footage. While both games are looking great in their own way, it is noticeable that the color schemes differ a lot. If you're looking at GTA 5 Los Santos, you will see a lot more bright colors and you will have a more warm feel while playing the game itself, a feeling like everything is possible in this world. Where in Watch Dogs Legion in London, you can feel the pressure of the regime and everything is much more grayed out, making you feel more hopeless as a player walking through London. We're also taking a look at the running animations for both games, and both have different characters and also different running animations. Michael's running animation and Ranch's running animation are, for example, very realistic, and Franklin's too, but when we look at Aiden, we see that he's actually running faster than he's moving. And if you look closely, there's also a weird stop to his running animation every few steps. It's good to see that for both games, running animations have been adjusted according to the character. We can see that Trevor is really like swinging with his arms, he is very impulsive and aggressive, and the grandma is running really slowly, almost like she is jogging. In the Watch Dogs series, the driving mechanics weren't always that good, but in Watch Dogs Legion, this is hugely improved compared to its predecessor. But in GTA 5, the driving feels much better, but it's hard to pinpoint on what it is that makes the driving feel so much better and more authentic. It might just be because of the weight of the car. I am not really sure, to be completely honest. And the chance of bumping into traffic in London is much higher because of the dense city environment. While driving fast in Legion, I even do get motion sickness, but this only happened on 30 FPS, and in GTA 5 you can also play the game in first person while driving your car or while walking on foot. I also wanted to do a crash test to see the damage done to the car in both games. Which of the damage done to the cars do you think looks more realistic? Let us know down below.
Danger. Vehicle in critical condition. Please.
Bring it.
So what do you think? Which game shows more realistic car damage? Together we're going to take a look at the guns inside of both games and listen to the audio design. Which audio design do you think sounds best?
Suspects reported in your area, potentially armed and hostile.
your area. Responding.
Suspects reported near your location. Moving to the hostiles location. Over. Stand by.
You want me, huh? Reloading!
Suspect reported in your area, potentially armed and hostile. Received.
Nothing funny. Do you hear me? I've seen enough. Go.
Moving on with the story of each title. In GTA 5, we see Michael, Trevor, and Brad commit a robbery at the very beginning of the story. While trying to escape, while not everything is going according to plan, Brad got shot. And while caring for his friend laying on the floor, Michael receives the second bullet. To make sure he doesn't get shot, Trevor has to go for a run and leaves Michael and Brad behind. All three of them know that the robbery went completely wrong because someone did snitch. But who was it? We see a funeral of Michael, but then in the intro of the game, we see Michael once again, letting the player know that Michael is still alive, and directly introducing yet another main protagonist, Franklin, and his friend Lamar. Franklin really wants to start living and stop struggling, but his friend Lamar keep dragging him into unnecessary drama. When Franklin and Lamar start working at the dealership for a guy named Semyon, they meet Jimmy. Jimmy is Michael's son and has more than enough money to buy himself a very expensive car, which Franklin later steals by going into Michael's house. Michael already saw this coming and was hidden in the back of the car. He then puts a gun against Franklin's head, threatening to shoot him if he doesn't drive into the dealership. So that's what Franklin does. He drives the car into the dealership. And now Franklin doesn't have a job anymore because Semyon directly fires him. Franklin saw how well Michael is doing for himself and decides to visit him at his place after losing his job. This is how Michael and Franklin got in touch with each other, but the following two events caused them to become partners. Franklin helped to rescue Jimmy while getting himself in trouble by stealing his father's boat, and when Michael's wife decided to go to bed with her tennis coach, they decided to take revenge.
Oh, hell yeah, homie. You know what time it is. Are you fucking serious?
Later, Michael and Franklin learn that this is not the tennis coach's house. It's actually Madroso's house. He is a Mexican drug lord. Madroso wants Michael and Franklin to pay for all the damage they have done. Michael contracts his old friend Lester to organize yet another heist, this time including Franklin, and they want to rob a jewelry store to pay back Madroso. Depending on who the player invites for this heist, everything goes according to plan, except one thing Michael says during the mission.
Man, get the fuck out my face. Oh!
You forget 1,000 things every day, pal. Make sure this is one of them. I'll see you at the river. Go!
Because the guard repeats the one-liner and Trevor, watching television, finds out that Michael might be still alive. After some overdramatic but creative missions playing as Trevor, taking out loads of bikers around the outskirts of Los Santos, he decides to return back to Los Santos and meet up with his old friend.
You're ruining my fucking yoga!
Somebody say yoga?
Trevor?
Michael.
Hey. It's good to see you, man.
Yeah, I bet it is. Of course, I'm not the one that's been resurrected.
With Trevor returning and the three main protagonists being introduced, Michael, Trevor, and also Franklin, the player can get ready for some absolute mayhem. Watch Dogs Legion's story focuses on the hacker group DedSec, as they seek to clear their names for a series of bombings they have been framed for. Zero Day is the one responsible for the bombings, but hides his or her identity behind this digital mask. While authorities hunt DedSec for crimes they didn't commit, Albion's private army and Mary Kelly's criminal syndicate are taking a hold of the city for their own purpose. And your ultimate mission is to recruit and take back London. Important characters to the story are Dalton Wolfe, an MI5 agent, who tries to defuse the bombs in the intro of the game but does not succeed. Then there is Sabrine Brandt. She is the leader of the hacker group DedSec. We have Bagley, our personal assistant, which is an artificial intelligence. We have Mary Kelly, daughter of Clan Kelly's legendary founder Peter Kelly. She monopolized the use of the dark web, selling organs, and is involved in human trafficking. She uses artificial intelligence to create slaves. And this is Nigel Cass, the CEO of Albion. Albion is a private military company charged with public security and law enforcement in London. The biggest difference in both stories is of course that Watch Dogs Legion does not have a main protagonist. In GTA 5 there are 3, and they all have their own individual goal. In Watch Dogs Legion, the collective goal is to recruit and take back London. In GTA 5, Franklin's goal is to get out of the hood, earn more money so he doesn't have to keep struggling in life. Michael already has what Franklin wants, but he's full with regrets and he tries to deal with them. And Trevor is somewhere in between. He is really crazy and doesn't seem to want to change at all. The story setup of GTA 5 is very powerful, although it does get quite complicated sometimes, having to play with 3 main protagonists and following them all separately and seeing all of the missions coming together. In GTA 5, you can only complete the blue missions using Michael, where in Watch Dogs Legion, it doesn't matter which NPC you are using. The story will be completely the same no matter which character you are playing as, and you will not feel an emotional connection switching between loads of different characters. And because GTA 5's story structure is more complicated, it is also more replayable. Another reason is because in Watch Dogs Legion, most of the missions exist out of going into a restricted area, taking out some enemies, completing some tasks, and then leaving that restricted area. While in Grand Theft Auto 5, missions exist out of uniquely scripted scenes, and you will see something that you did not see before in the entire game. All of that while introducing what the open world has to offer. is clear how much inspiration Watch Dogs Legion took from GTA 5, from the way you enter the game to the open world design and the gameplay. It is clear that the 8-year-old GTA 5 still holds up very well till this day. On November 11, 2021, we can also expect an enhancement for the next generation console, GTA 5. Both games' online modes continue to get updated, and I'm very curious to see if GTA 5 thrives just as much as it originally did back in 2013. That wraps up today's comparison. Hit the like on this video if you did enjoy this video, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications for more comparisons just like this. Don't forget to check out my documentary about Watch Dogs. This is me, your boy Cheese. I am out. Peace.